My name is Assata Shakur, and I was born and raised in the United States. I am a descendant of Africans who were kidnapped and brought to the Americas as slaves. I spent my early childhood in the racist, segregated South. I later moved to the northern part of the country, where I realized that black people were equally victimized by racism and oppression. I grew up and became a political activist, participating in student struggles, the anti-war movement, and most of all, in the movement for the liberation of African Americans in the United States. I later joined the Black Panther Party, an organization that was targeted by the COINTELPRO program, a program that was set up by the Federal Bureau of Investigation to eliminate all political opposition to the U.S. government's policies, to destroy the black liberation movement in the United States, to discredit activists, and to eliminate potential leaders. Under the COINTELPRO program, many political activists were harassed, imprisoned, murdered, or otherwise neutralized. As a result of being targeted by COINTELPRO, I, like many other young people, was faced with the threat of prison, underground, exile, or death. The FBI, with the help of local police agencies, systematically fed false accusations and fake news articles to the press, accusing me and other activists of crimes we did not commit. Although in my case the charges were eventually dropped or I was eventually acquitted, the national and local police agencies created a situation where, based on their false accusations against me, any police officer could shoot me on sight. It was not until the Freedom of Information Act was passed in the mid-'70s that we began to see the scope of the United States government's persecution of political activists. At this point, I think that it is important to make one thing very clear. I have advocated, and I still advocate, revolutionary changes in the structure and in the principles that govern the United States. I advocate self-determination for my people and for all oppressed people inside the United States. I advocate an end to capitalist exploitation, the abolition of racist policies, the eradication of sexism, and the elimination of political repression. If that is a crime, then I am totally guilty. To make a long story short, I was captured in New Jersey in 1973 after being shot with both arms held in the air and then shot again from the back. I was left on the ground to die, and when I did not, I was taken to a local hospital where I was threatened, beaten, and tortured. In 1977, I was convicted in a trial that can only be described as a legal lynching. In 1979, I was able to escape with the aid of some of my fellow comrades. I saw this as a necessary step, not only because I was innocent of the charges against me, but because I knew that the racist legal system in the United States, I would receive no justice. I was also afraid that I would be murdered in prison. I later arrived in Cuba, where I am currently living in exile as a political refugee. The New Jersey State Police and other law enforcement officials say they want to see me brought to justice. But I would like to know what they mean by justice. Is torture justice? I was kept in solitary confinement for more than 2 years, mostly in men's prisons. Is that justice? My lawyers were threatened with imprisonment and imprisoned. Is that justice? I was tried by an all-white jury without even the pretext of impartiality and then sentenced to life in prison plus 33 years. Is that justice? Let me emphasize that justice for me is not the issue I am addressing here. It is justice for my people that is at stake. When my people receive justice, I am sure that I will receive it too.
Now, before I start this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank Evolution, Cubator on TikTok, and also TPP on TikTok for this video. What can I say? The true queen is now in true queen is now in heaven. Assata Shakur has passed away at the age of 78. And you heard her story of what happened to her, right? So the government, as well as the media, was accusing her of shot and unalive a New Jersey state trooper, which turns out that she was innocent. And basically, according to sources, that basically that it was this New Jersey state trooper, shot her while she had her hands up. And so she basically was trying to serve, a life sentence until her people break her out of prison, and and went all the way to Havana, Cuba, when she was seeking asylum there. And so this beautiful, this amazing sister has exposes the U.S. government secrets of COINTELPRO, and how at that time she was telling everybody that justice, in the black community was basically unbiased and unfair, and it's been like that, in the civil rights movement. And she's just basically amazing of telling her story. And they're trying so hard to extradite her back to the U.S., and unfortunately, it failed every single time. And when she was seeking asylum in Cuba, the Castros immediately granted it, because they felt like, this woman, they really tried to unalive Assata Shakur. But she was living in Cuba for the longest, from ever since she was, free and went there. So, the FBI and all the agencies is just granted them $1 million for her capture. And unfortunately, the thing of it is that when you were accused of going on a shootout with an unaliving a state trooper, and she had her hands up at the time, she really wasn't the shooter. But my point is that you have a woman. Everybody knows in the black community, in the civil rights movement, we never had justice in the criminal justice system. So you have a woman who went to another country, right, seeking asylum, and got it from from Fidel Castro himself. That tells you right there that basically she unalive as a free woman. She fought for equal rights when the criminal justice system. She fought, in her civil rights, knowing everybody said that she unaliving a New Jersey state trooper. She need to be in prison. She need be extradited in the United States to face justice. And like she said, what justice? Even though she was acquitted, she was found innocent. They still want to put her in prison. And the FBI made her the top 10 most wanted list. So this woman if they, even they said even if she proven that she didn't even do those things, they still make her, you know, a criminal. They still make her as a, you know, as a suspect and as a wanted fugitive. But at the end of the day, Assata Shakur fought, even if she was in Cuba, fought for civil rights, human rights, and this woman deserved her flowers, deserved her praise. Because the thing of it is, as black people, we haven't realized that there's other countries we should go to, or we can seek asylum in other countries. And we've been hearing about Fidel Castro, how horrible that man is. But at the end of the day, like if it wasn't for Fidel Castro, you know, accept her asylum like he did, we wouldn't know what would happen to Assata Shakur. We would they would probably find her. They would have unalive her in prison. Anything could have happened to her. So, you know, as a woman, you know, basically she told her story. She told what really happened to her, I'll give her all the praise, all the flowers, you know, because again, at the end of the day, she died. I mean, she, you know, unalive as a free woman, as a free woman. The true meaning of freedom, you know, away from them trying to come after them. I mean, again, the U.S. government been trying to come after her for decades to extradite her back. They even give the Cuban government. They even here's the thing. They even uplifted their trade embargo to try to get Assata Shakur, but the Cuban government ain't falling for it. They not even falling for that. They're like, nah. Mm. So, I mean, what can I say about a true queen that fought for the black community, fought for our civil rights, our human rights? You know, she deserves the praise, the flowers. This woman has, you know, uplift black people like she ever been before. Rest in power, the queen, Assata Shakur. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments.